and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the Gnarly Gnome. This is called the Weekly Pint. It is not a show. Lest it feel like a show, lest you think it's a show, it's not. It's a happy hour, which means that we drink. That's really kind of the whole point of it. It's an excuse for us to hang out together, have a drink together. So welcome to having a drink at this wonderful virtual happy hour show thing. Whatever you want to call it. You know what? Like, if you want to call it a show, I'm not going to stop you. In fact, sometimes I call it a show, which is very confusing because it's not a show. It's the show that's not a show in show form. None of it makes any sense, and that's kind of the fun of it. But as you jump on the live stream, because listen, there is a podcast, and you can always get on Facebook or YouTube and watch this after the fact, and it's the same thing. I don't cut stuff out. It's the exact same show, but we've done studies, and it's about 74% more fun if you do it live. And we do it live every Monday around, and this is the key here, it's around 9:30-ish. And right now it is definitely ish. So that's, again, why it's not a show. It's also a mess down here. There's things everywhere. Life has been so busy that I have not picked up the studio or the basement at all in like a month. And so there's just like stuff everywhere. There's literally laundry on the bar right now, which stresses me out. I don't know how to handle it. But that's where we're at right now. That's how crazy things have been. As you jump on, as I was saying before, tell me what you're drinking, because that is the whole point of this. Let's see. Josh is having a Rheingeist Pixel. That's a good choice. Cold IPA. I only like my IPAs cold. Ryan's got to go find something to drink. Hurry! You can't miss it. Julia is enjoying Alexandria Till the Battle is Won tonight in celebration of a great UFL opening weekend. Alex is drinking a cream ale, cleaning up the tap room. Chris has got a Diet Mountain Dew with 1,000 milligrams of added vitamin C and dehydrated blood orange. I'm going to beat this cold. Yeah, there's been all kinds of viruses going around right now. Do whatever you got to do to stave it off, to force it onto somebody else or into the ether. I don't know what happens to the viruses if they don't infect us. Ryan says, okay, drinking a Le Chouffe Belgian brown beer, or Mixchouf. I think that's the chain version of Le Chouffe. I don't know. Mixchouf, a Belgian brown beer. That sounds good. I, as a lot of you, hopefully most of you, probably most of you that hang out here live know, like to start things out with what I lovingly call the schnappening, even though it's not usually schnapps. It's not technically schnapps. But we're working through a bottle. We're trying to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do when we finally finish the bottle. Maybe we'll take a schnapps break and drink bourbon or so. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we're working through a bottle of Bekarovka, which is so delicious. And we are, I don't know if you can see that on there, but we are definitely, yeah, it's right down there. We're definitely getting close to the end. And then I got to go buy another bottle. This is the danger of keeping a bottle of something in the studio right next to where you sit, because then you don't have to get up, and it's just always easier to just pick it up and drink it. And then you do. And then before you know it, you're just working on finishing a whole bottle. Why not? Let's see. Eric has a dog. We have. This hasn't happened for a while. This might be an internet issue. Okay. It looks like we're back. Okay. Looks like we're back at full strength. That was weird. Let me know if you guys have any other issues. It's still dancing around a little bit. Says 'Tis a bit choppy. Yes. All right. Hopefully we're good. I don't actually know why that happened. Let me check here real quick just to see what's going on. It's probably my kids. Whatever they did. Julia said, "Told you to get rid of Spectrum." Spectrum's actually been doing great. I mean, we jinxed it by saying that, but yeah, we're a little slow right now. It was crazy how it just kind of happened all of a sudden. Chris said, "I thought I was working too hard, and it was me." Look, if we can survive hotel internet, we can survive this. Yeah, it's like, I mean, that's the download speed is crawling. Upload is fine, which is what we need. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening. It's fine. Let's drink. You know what? Let's drink schnapps and just pretend that everything is good. I can tell you it's not because I'm working too hard, because I'm not. I'm drinking schnapps, which is not hard work at all. My kids are probably like upstairs, like downloading 400 movies and video games and streaming on every device you can possibly stream on. I bet that's actually what's happening. That shouldn't affect me at all. It shouldn't. But I mean, clearly something is. All right. We've talked about this enough. This is the downside of drinking the exact same thing on every single episode. I don't really have any other new thoughts about it. There's nothing new I can say about this. It smells exactly like it did last week. It's probably going to taste exactly like it did last week, which is delicious. All right, let's see. That's terrible. Yeah, you know what? It's terrible. I'm kidding. It's yeah, it tastes exactly like it did last week. It's great. Um let's see. Julia says, "Show them how to use LimeWire and give herpes to all your electronic devices." I think if we survive that era, anybody can. Is that still like, is LimeWire still around and just like some kind of like legal service? Legal software, I guess. Let me see. LimeWire. Okay. Yeah, no, it's pretty much still the same thing. It's their description on when you Google it says that it's our end-to-end encrypted AI-powered file sharing platform, allows you to upload, manipulate, and share files of any size on any device. So yeah, it's just the same thing. It is the exact same thing. That's wild that that's still around. I assume that Napster still exists in some form, right? Yep. It is just a what? I don't even know with. Oh wow. Okay. The next Napster moment is here. It's got a cassette tape on the homepage, which is wonderful. I'm not going to start clicking into all this stuff, but the quick little description down here says, Napster powers the future of digital experience through spatial computing and AI. Our innovative software production and marketing solutions help brands and creators build immersive experiences that drive engagement, data ownership, and brand value. I have no idea what any of that means, but it's still around. That's kind of fascinating to me that these things are. I guess the name means something. It's worth something. That's pretty crazy. Julia says, "I'm afraid to look." It is still around. It's a file sharing service. The service was never illegal. Just what you shared was. Yeah, absolutely. But some of them got into some, we've got to clarify here. The service was never illegal. Some of the services definitely were illegal. So There were some that were not just specifically peer-to-peer. They were taking things from peers and actually putting them in one place so that then other peers could go to that place and get them. That was illegal because they were then hosting these files for people to download. Downloading from somebody else was where you could get around some of those little legal loopholes. But regardless if some of these things were legal or not, the court fees and the fighting of all of the battles, I think, was probably damaging for a lot of them. Eric says, "Hey, Copilot, generate a statement with lots of tech buzzwords." That's exactly what it sounds like with both of them, both LimeWire and Napster, is that it's just somebody's like, man, how do we make something sound really techy, something that, I don't know, something very AI, very cool, and they just generated something. It's exactly what they both sound like, and it's probably actually exactly what they did. And neither one of them actually tell me anything about what the service is. Julia says, "I'm still mad at Metallica for all of that nonsense." Yeah, I mean, I get it, and yeah, I mean, I kind of get it. I think that there's better ways to go around it, and maybe some foresight into what was happening in the industry and kind of understanding all of that would have gone a long way. But yeah, it was interesting times. My kids will never understand it. They will never get it. they just click on a song and just let it play, and like they don't understand any of that kind of. It is kind of funny how things have changed and how the industry itself changed because of people like us breaking the law. We're rebels. That's good schnapps. Not schnapps. Okay. Empty beer glass. But we got to get into this. I think I have 6 different things that I want to talk about. And every one of them could lead us down some kind of crazy rabbit hole of something else. We got to start. Well, we don't have to start anywhere. We can start wherever we want. Let's just hit a random button and see where it takes us. Let's dive in. Just as a reminder, you can always call into the show. You can call the drunk line. It's right down there on the screen. Right. I don't even know how to point to things on the screen. 567-70-DRINK. It's 567-703-7465. I think that's the number. And you can call in. It is live. Let's start. Oh, the Lager House. We've talked about the Lager House last week, kind of in conjunction with another story about people putting other people's beer on tap and kind of why it works for some places and why it doesn't work for some places. And this news is exactly why it works for a place like the Lager House. So they are starting off something that I'm going to call some kind of a series. I don't know that there's actually a series behind it or just like a new culture that you're going to find at the Lager House. But they are teaming up with Brink. They are doing a collaboration beer. Brink is helping them, and they're helping Brink, and they're all going to hang out, and they're making or have made a unfiltered Pilsner. And they're going to be tapping it on why did I not write the date down? It's like very soon. That's why I say they've already brewed it. I'm a bad podcaster. I don't even write dates down when I'm writing stuff in my notes. April 15th at 3 p.m. It's called the Meet the Brewers Happy Hour, Unfiltered Pilsner Collaboration Brew. I think this is the start of other collaborations that we'll see from them. At the happy hour, they're going to obviously meet the brewer. You can come hang out, ask questions, talk to their brewers, maybe get a better picture of kind of what this whole new personality of the Lager House is all about by talking to them. You'll obviously get to drink the new beer. which they've got a bunch of Lager House beers that you probably need to try. They're fantastic. And then they're also going to have some stuff from Brink available at the happy hour too. And it's called a happy hour for a very good reason, because it's a happy hour. I don't know if everybody realizes this, but the Lager House does these happy hours from like 3 to 6. And when you go there, there's a bunch of food that's discounted, but more importantly, way more importantly, beer. Beer is only $5 a pint, which is something that I hold very near and dear to my heart when I find a $5 pint anywhere. So yeah, get there and go hang out and try the new beer for $5. I am definitely excited to see kind of what this spirit of collaboration, the spirit of honoring, and the Lager House has always been about this, but I think it kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit for a long time. But this idea of honoring not just one brand, but this much bigger picture of Cincinnati beer and brewing history that built the city and has still enabled the city to keep growing as it's moved into the present time. There's a lot of great breweries in town, and they all play this little piece, this role, little piece of the role in Cincinnati's story. And the Lager House is trying to pay homage to all of that, and I think it's a really smart move. And look, if you're headed down to a ball game, it gives you a chance to get a variety of Cincinnati beers, because there's not a huge variety of beer. It's not next in line, but let's just jump into that too, because we did talk about this a couple weeks ago also, and we're now starting to get a picture of what beer looks like at Great American Ballpark, and it's not bad. I'm not saying that there is. Oh man, I didn't. I messed up my text. That's all right. We'll just do it like this. We'll just delete that for now. The ballpark has a ton of beer. Braxton is the official craft beer sponsor of the Cincinnati Reds. With that comes a whole bunch of Braxton beer. And we kind of we talked about it a couple weeks ago that there were going to be multiple Braxton beers that were available in the ballpark, including a couple that were exclusive Reds beers, I guess, including ballpark beer. We're now starting to see that in addition, so I have not been to a game yet, so I cannot confirm, but it's looking like the only local beer that I know is available is Braxton and Sinbev. So the Moerlein brands, I'm assuming you can find a Little King somewhere. I don't know. I know Moerlein brands in general are there. I have heard from one person that there was Sonder You Betcha available somewhere. I cannot confirm that yet. I got to get to a game to really break this down and see what beer is available. I don't know if you can get a single Rheingeist beer in the ballpark. Don't know. I'm pretty sure you can't get a Mad Tree beer anywhere in the ballpark. 50 West decided not to renew their burger bar kind of deal that they had going on. You could get they had a little restaurant. You can get a cheeseburger and a beer and some fries and watch the game. It was one of my favorite places to grab some food while I was there. They decided not to renew that, so they're not there anymore. Bad Tom Smith had their little stand over in the ballpark. They clearly aren't there because they're nowhere now. So as much as there is a great selection of local beer, it's not a great variety of local breweries anymore. But with that said, we do now have a picture of some of the beers that are available. So Braxton's new beer, Ballpark Beer, is obviously there. Their new exclusive pale ale, and I say exclusive because it's a Reds labeled beer. I don't know if it'll be available outside of the ballpark or not. I'm assuming it could be, but no confirmation there yet. It's called Hopfly. Then they have a new Radler called Grand Slam Berry. It's like I think it's strawberry Radler, which sounds delicious. And then they've got Mexican Lager with lime. You can get Bavarian Lager. You can get Summer Trip. You can get Hop Ridge. You can get Switch. You can get Kickback, their cider, which I don't know if they've been making that or if it's back. I don't know, but I'm excited to see it. Kickback. Storm, obviously available. Scooter, their other Radler, is available. And then Drift, which is their recent, I think it's is it a wit beer, I believe? All available, 16-ounce cans. You can get them all over the stadium and drink a bunch of Braxton beer. Not any other news on that other than we're starting to get a picture of what beer in the stadium looks like this season. And as I was concerned, it's not as much of a variety of breweries there. Chris says that Fig Leaf will have Elvis juice there, though. Let me crack open a beer. Or actually, yeah, let's start. Well, should we go beer or should we go canned cocktail? You guys tell me. I'll let you pick. And then we'll jump to the next thing. This is kind of where the show title came from tonight, because I'm going to give the benefit of doubt to the brewery involved here. And that comes with a little bit of leeway from me, obviously. Julia says beer. All right, let's go beer. I also have a Rhinegeist Pixel. Look at what are the odds? Rhinegeist Pixel is a cold IPA, which, if anybody wasn't aware, is different than a warm IPA. It's a joke that just never gets old. I still am not 100% sure what makes a cold IPA versus a regular IPA. I think I've heard some people say that they are using lager yeast and then giving it a lagering period. Some people say they're still using the same yeast, but giving it a cold condition period to kind of clean it up. I've heard some people say that it's about adding the hops on in a different stage during the fermentation. I don't actually know. I know nothing, and it definitely doesn't tell me on here. Actually, you know what? It does tell me a little bit, because the very first thing it says 7%, and then it very specifically says lager. Tropical aromas, bright notes of grapefruit and peach, but it says it's a lager, which then makes me assume that what we have is lager yeast and a lagering period, but it's hopped like a traditional IPA. That's my assumption just by the word lager. I don't know that. I'm sure that everybody at Rhinegeist is watching the show right now, and they could probably chime in and tell us. But yeah, all right, let's dive in. I know this is going to lead to the next question of what makes it different than a West Coast Pilsner or an IPL or any one of those other styles. And I don't know the answer to that. Marketing is the answer. Okay. It's a pretty beer, and it definitely smells tropical. The hops are just leaping out of the glass. Yeah, there's some fun berry notes going on there, and almost a little bit of like dankiness too. That mm, okay. Let me get into this. Mm. Oh yeah, that's great. Um, uh, Chris says I did just look this up. I've confirmed that it is an IPA. Is it? Is it? Okay, Chris says, going to a second source, a cold IPA is a crisp, highly hopped, dry India Pale Ale brewed with lager yeast at warmer than usual fermentation temperatures. Features clean, clear, light body profile, often using adjuncts like corn or rice. Um. Okay, so still an IPA. I don't know. I don't know that it is. IPA is an India Pale Ale. Yeah, I don't know that you can use lager yeast and call something an IPA. I don't know that I don't know that I accept that. Alex says marketing is the answer. IPL and cold IPA are one and the same. West Coast Pilsners have a different malt bill. Gotcha. Uh, I listen. I'm a bit of an expert, and since I have a microphone and right now working internet, I get to make rules. And I'm going to say that a cold IPA is not an IPA. It's not. It doesn't make any sense. An India Pale Ale cannot be brewed with a lager yeast. Chris says, "Is it top or bottom fermented?" It sounds like it's bottom fermented. It's like warm bottom fermented though. But the yeast is still going to hang out down there. It is still a lager yeast. So I don't know. I mean I do know. I know and I can make the rules. I look, I'm in charge here and I say that this is not an ale, this is a lager. I have spoken. Somebody send them an email. I mean, it says it on there. I guess it doesn't actually say ale anywhere. It says IPA, which could stand for something else. India Pale Awesome. But it does say lager specifically. That is okay. I'll give it to him. I will give it to him. It's great. I know that. Like it is delicious. Mm. Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. Um, yeah, it's going down really easy too. All right, let's jump into this. I'm going to try to be nice about this. I'm going to try to give people benefit of the doubt here and assume that this is just a slight overlook of something else. Okay, let's jump into it. Again, I'm not crapping on anybody. I'm calling this the mix-up Imperial Stout version. Mall. We got to talk about Mall. And I'm sure that a lot of you are familiar with Mall. And I'm sure if I ask you who makes Mall, you have an answer for that. In fact, please jump in the chat and tell me who you think makes Mall, because there seems to be some confusion about this. Zach says, too bad that's not a hustle in a can. Though I did get a hustle on tap at Gaslight Brewhouse in Oxford this weekend, when I also visited Steinkeller after so many years. I've only been to Gaslight once, and I was not like blown away. It's not Steinkeller. So Mall, for anybody that is not aware, is an imperial stout. However, as I've learned this week, there you go. Ryan says Mall equals high grain. You are correct, sir. Mall is an imperial stout by High Grain, except Mall is also my share is not set up. Hang on. We'll get this. There it is. Mall is also a barrel-aged imperial stout from Fabled. Okay. Julia says Mahal equals high grain, unless it's from a recent social media post, then Fables makes it. I don't like this. I don't like when this happens because we know that Mall is from high grain. This was the release they did this year of Mall with its variants, and this is Mall from Fabled. I don't know exactly what year high grain started doing Mall. In my notes, it goes back to like 2022, but that was a barrel aged version. So I'm going to assume it might go back to 2021. That's definitely predating Fabled. I think the high grain called it. Zach says, so Maul is a Star Wars reference. Yes, it is. Darth Maul is a Star Wars character. His Darth Maul trademarked. This is not even about a trademark argument at all. This is about the community in Cincinnati. I'm sure if you get on the internet and start searching, I'm sure that there are other breweries in this country that have made an imperial stout called Mall. I'm sure that exists. That's okay. I'm guessing they could get in trouble with Disney if people thought they were associated. Yeah, I mean, they could. And this artwork does kind of tie them together. It's not even about that. Not even about that at all. They have plenty of beers that toe that line. A lot of places do. That's not this argument. This argument is more when we are in a city like Cincinnati. I think that it's very, very, very important to try not to step on each other's toes, to try not to make a beer that somebody else already kind of has laid claim to name-wise. If somebody wants to make something that another brewery in a different state or somewhere else may have used the name, I don't even care all that much unless it's a really popular beer. Then I'm like, all right, that's going to be confusing for the consumer, and nobody wants to be confused. That's the whole point of all of this. Everything should be very clear for people. Zach says, how many trademark beers did Listerman get away with? Not just Listerman. And I would argue Listerman is probably not the biggest culprit of it, but that's, again, not at all what this is about. Not even in the slightest. Julia says, if it was a collab, that's one thing, but there's no indication of that from this post image. Yeah, I don't think it is at all. I think that it is. I'm going to give them some kind of leeway, and I'm going to assume that they didn't know. I have a hard time understanding how that's possible, but I'm going to assume they just didn't know. So, to clear things up for every brewery in town, and I think that especially with something like a big Imperial Stout released, which is usually a big release for a brewery, they put a lot of time, they put a lot of money into it, they're putting it in special packaging, they're throwing days where they're releasing it, these holidays and these big release days. It's a big deal for breweries. So, that's where I'm leaning right now is with Imperial Stout releases. So, to clear this up for all the breweries in town, if you're confused and you've brewed an Imperial Stout and you want to package it, make note. You should not call your beer Dark Charge. That's taken. Don't use that one. Somebody else already did that. You should not call your beer Speak of the Devil. Somebody already called that one. They're doing it. In fact, we'll go Demogorgon too with them. Don't call your beer Demogorgon. I'm sure there's other Demogorgon beers in the country, and I don't care about that. But here in Cincinnati, it's taken. Don't step on their toes. Saturn Ascends, that's taken. Don't do that. Don't do it. It's not worth being mean about it. Like don't step on their toes. Axis Mundi, you may not remember that beer because it doesn't get released that often anymore. Although it did just get released. That's Mad Tree. They made that. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a cool name. I know it's a cool name, and I know you want to put it on some kind of bottle and wax dip it and make it look awesome, but don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Ink, yeah, really cool. Ink is black, and Imperial Stout is black, and that's a great name for a beer. But Rhinegeist did it, and so you should not do it. Don't call your beer Ink. Family tradition. Look, that's really cool. Be right back. Making light charge and blueberry hat. Yeah, don't call your beer family tradition. Don't do it. Just don't call your beer family tradition. Confluence of Darkness. There's another one. Don't call your beer Confluence of Darkness. I don't think our local breweries should be naming beers the same thing as other local beers. I'm really not trying to be a jerk about it. And like I said, I'm going to assume that they didn't know. That's my assumption, because that's what I hope. If you disagree with me here, please, the number is on the screen. Please call into the show, 567-703-7465, and you can call in and make an argument why there can be a storm at every brewery in town. I don't think there can be. I don't think it's right. Ryan says, what is the geographic distance for this rule to apply? Again, I make the rules, and so I'm going to use my Cincinnati bubble rule of 40-ish miles. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, if there's an Imperial Stout that is extremely popular, that may not be a local beer, I still think you shouldn't call your beer that. I think you should try. Everybody should try to create a name that is unique. That should be the goal for any beer that you're making. I get that that's really, really difficult these days, and I get sometimes you miss things, and that does happen. But especially here in town, it's you should be paying attention to your people around you, to your community. That's a big part of craft beer. Let's see. Julia says, I have a great idea for the name of an IPA. I'm going to call it Honesty. If there's too much of a mouthful, maybe we can go with Truth instead. Speaking of somewhat beer trademarks, I miss Listerman's. I've had it with all these motherfucking IPAs and those motherfucking breweries. It was a fun beer. Julia says, what if it was a golden non-alcoholic called Mall? Would that be okay then? It wouldn't make any sense. The name doesn't make sense, but no. I mean, just I don't think we need to do that. I don't think we need to be stepping on each other. And I get that there are some really great names, and we want them, but I don't know. It just seems very simple to me. But and again, that's why I'm assuming that they just literally didn't know. But okay. All right. Moving on. What else can we talk about? Since we're talking about Imperial Stouts, we could talk about Speak of the Devil. If anybody is a fan of Blake's craft beer podcast, I want to call him Blake the Brewery Explorer, but Blake's craft beer podcast. He had Garrett Hickey from Streetside on his show, and we got a really, really great look at the variants for this year's Speak of the Devil Day, which is the 11th from 10 a.m. on. There is one variant that Garrett couldn't remember or wasn't sure of, and never really told us, I'm pretty sure. We've got, obviously, the base, Speak of the Devil, and then at their VIP open house tasting, which I don't think there's any tickets left for, that is happening this week on the 4th. They are releasing their peanut brittle. Speak of the devil, which is the only bottle this year. And they are then also doing an early release of the Brewer's Breakfast, which I gotta pull that one up to remember everything that's in this thing. Apple brandy barrels, coconut, cocoa nibs, coffee, hazelnuts, maple syrup. Sounds like a really, really great beer. They're releasing cans and draft of that at some of their partners around Dayton and I believe, I think he said Columbus. I don't have a list of all of the places, but it is a chance to kind of get your hands on something before the actual day. There's also going to be a German chocolate variant, which I believe they did before. There is a Nocino barrel-aged, Speak of the Devil, which Nocino is like is it almonds? I think it's almonds, like an almond liqueur that is absolutely delicious. And they aged it in those barrels. And I'm curious about this one too. Then there's the Brewer's Breakfast, and then banana bread, and then this one more mystery one that we don't know. We don't know what it is. They haven't told us yet. But it's shaping up like a good release. These are like big, sweet, giant stouts, and take your time with them because they will catch up with you very quickly. Alex says walnuts. Thank you, walnuts. It is absolutely delicious. I can't. What was that one schnapp that I had on the show that was some kind of nutty walnut something or other? Oh, so good. Was it Orahovic? Was that what it was? Orahovic, I think, and it was delicious. I need to get a bottle of Nocino for the bar, because it's a really I love, like, you guys obviously probably picked this up on here. I love unique spirits. Like, I like bourbon and I like rum and tequila, and that's all fine. But I really like some of the other kind of off the wall stuff that you can just kind of drink by itself or over some ice and kind of find new flavors in it. I think it's fun. Oh, we've got a drunk line call. I need to make some kind of like sound effect for that. Hey, you're on the Weekly Pint. Who is this?
Hey, what's up? It's Zach. How you doing,
What's
buddy?
up, Zach?
To call in tonight. Hey, not much, man. I'm not going to keep it super crazy tonight, but I was just like indulging in your mall conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at Taps because that's what I usually go to, and so with the differences between the malls and stuff like that, I'm sure you talked about this earlier. I kind of caught up late, but I will say, in the defense of Fabled Brewworks doing the mall,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that they're into the whole, I guess you could say, fairy tale, all that stuff. I don't know if it's the right word for it, slash like sci-fi, slash, I don't know, probably a lot of shout outs to like nerdism,
Sure.
I guess you could say. I'm going to say that the mall, with what they're going with, not only is it because I think theirs is more of the connection to like Darth Maul, which we all know because we saw the picture of Darth
Mm-hmm.
Maul. And of course, I don't think they purposely meant to like copy the other one from. I think it's High Grade, is what you said.
Yeah.
But looking at Untapped, you got the Imperial Stout. Yes, they're the same style. Stout is the main word. But then again, if you go look at the Fabled one, which I was kind of looking into, it's a dessert stout with coconut caramel and pretzel. So they're adding adjuncts to theirs versus the other one, which is just a plain Imperial Stout.
No, so High Grain does do adjuncted versions too.
Oh, did they add adjunct? Okay.
Yeah, they do adjunct that one.
Okay, because the reason I thought that they did do that is when of course, I can't always trust Untapped, and I just saw that it was Imperial Stout and it didn't list anything adjunct-wise.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of different ones.
Okay.
Let me pull up a...
oh, you're good. You're fine. I just wanted to chime in with the conversation, which I didn't really know that was a thing. But of course, if you look at Untapped, you can always look at all the other beers that are named too. I think there was one like from some brewing I've never heard of called Darth Maul. They actually call it Darth Maul.
Yeah, which that's a
So
little close to a trademark, but
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you get some of these, and you're
I
like, okay, you know all the movie references.
I'm making an assumption that Darth Maul is trademarked. I assume so.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if they change the wording on it and call it the different mall. You ever notice that too when people like they change it by like one letter just to make sure that
Sure.
they don't get in trouble? I guess. So I don't know. That's what I like about breweries. That's the best thing about craft beer on this subject is I like when breweries you know the shout outs. Like you see the pictures and you're like, okay, that's fucking Back to the Future. That's from Indiana Jones,
Well,
but they
there's
don't actually bluntly say it. And that's
yeah,
what I
and
love about it.
that's going down a whole different kind of rabbit hole conversation that we've had before, but um,
Oh, I'm sure.
like there's I much more appreciate a brewery that will a take an idea like that and find a clever way to pay homage to
Yeah.
something that they love and appreciate in pop culture versus just using somebody else's intellectual property. Like that's I
Yeah, I
prefer
get what you're
that.
saying.
I get that it's trendy and I get that people love buying glassware with a cartoon character on it that's their favorite cartoon character or whatever.
Sure.
I get it, but it's not right. It's not right to make products and sell other people's intellectual property.
I
Um,
get what you're saying. I mean, changing it. I don't know. I'm going to use this for example. I bought a beer not to, and some of these beers I buy them because of the word. Sometimes it's not the world's greatest beer, but it's like either the can art's cool or I like the name. I'm like, ooh, that sounds cool. But for example, I think it was Hoof Hearted. I just bought a can recently from White Oak the other day because they had a couple singles sitting in there, and I love Hoof Hearted's IPAs in general. But I think it was called Roads Where We're Going, We Don't Need Roads, and obviously we all know this is from Back to the Future
right.
2, or and but they just have pictures of guys on skis. But it's like that reference. You're like, okay, that's fucking cool. So I'm gonna get this beer because I love Back to the Future. So that's where I fall into all this stuff. I'm a sucker for nostalgic stuff. I'm a sucker for like I think I just saw one the other day. I'm drinking a more beer tonight. I was kind of looking up some stuff about it, and they had a beer that was like a Pog one. It said Pog something, so I mean I guess it's kind of trademark. I don't know, but if you remember Pogs as a kid, that little
Yeah,
game you flip it. I would.
Pog is specifically a type of juice though. It's
Oh,
pineapple
is it?
or
Oh, see, then I did
pineapple
not know
orange
that.
guava. So like it's and the Pogs like
Oh,
the
okay.
little cardboard discs were called
Yes.
Pogs because they came from the top of that juice originally. Like
Oh,
it
I
wasn't a
did not know
brand.
that.
No, it wasn't a brand at all.
Oh, I thought it was the name of a brand of the game because I love as a kid nostalgic stuff. Again, going back to anything nostalgic. Even 450 North did one, I think during October sometime, where it was like all the Ninja Turtles, and then I love the Goosebump books, and they did all the Goosebump. Like, obviously theirs is always like they put the cups with the slushy, and it's always the slushy cups, but you know what it is, and so I'm like, okay, that's cool. They take one of my like kid pop cultural things, and I'm gonna buy that beer that looks like it's Donatello or Raphael or from Ninja Turtles, and it has a little like it's not bluntly them. It just has a picture of the slushy cup with a like little bandana around it. But I'm gonna be like, I'm buying this because I like that like maybe the flavors aren't the greatest, but I like this can art. The can art is probably one of the biggest things that I look for when I'm looking at craft beer. I'm like, okay, this can art really cool, and it's a plus when you get a can that's the beer is actually really good with the can art. So you're like, oh man, that can art's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's got to be done well to for me to be on board. And I again,
Yeah, I get it.
this argument has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any of that. Nothing to do with it. I don't care if somebody uses the word mall from a trademark perspective or an intellectual property
Sure,
perspective.
sure.
That's far enough away. Mall specific. Use Darth Maul. I might have an issue, but um,
Yeah, sure, sure. I get what you're saying, and I'm just kind of comparing that, trying to engage in the conversation, be one of your callers, since Marco doesn't seem to call much anymore, because I think him and I are the only one that ever calls. But I just wanted to like kind of talk about that, kind of chime in at the last minute there. Now I do have a question though. Do you have no? Do you have a favorite movie that you per se like say, hey, I would watch this all the time? Like for me, I could say Halloween or Back to the Future are my top two movies. I know they're two different genres, but you have one movie you're like, man, I absolutely love it, and I own it. I've watched it over and over and over. Do you have a movie like that?
I mean, there's definitely lots of movies that I've seen a bunch of times. I mean, Back to the Future is a good one. I've seen that a lot.
Okay.
Any Batman movie, I think I've seen a lot. The Superman movies, I've seen those a lot. But I don't know that I would say they're like my favorite movies by any. Like I'm not a huge. Not
movie.
when I say that out loud, it's like, well, no, I love movies, but like I'm not like sitting around watching lots of movies. Like that's just not the structure of my life.
Well, you also are very busy too, but well, what I'm getting at is if you had a favorite movie, say you like Batman a lot or whatever, have you ever been in a situation where you're like going to a shelf and you're like, okay, I see a can art, I know that reference, and you bought it because you're like, man, I like Batman a lot. I'm gonna buy this.
I can't think of a time that I have. I would say that like
that's where I was getting with that.
If so, like I don't know that Batman's a great example, but like if somebody was like partnering up with some band that I loved, or or a movie that I loved, or a TV show or something, and it was an actual partnership with that property holder, that intellectual property holder, that might change things completely for me. If like it's hey, like I can't think of a great example right now that that resonates for me.
That's why you love it.
But like
that's why you love the Hulk Hogan beer.
I mean, yeah, like, but I mean, that might be a good example for some people. Like, it's if you're a Hulk Hogan fan, there's probably other beers out there that are Hulk Hogan beers that are not actually Hulk Hogan beers. It's people like stealing his likeness and stealing his name and stealing his intellectual property, his estate's intellectual property at this point, and that's not right. But this was a beer that he was putting himself behind, and if you're a Hulk Hogan fan, that you should feel good about buying that versus something that somebody is ripping off somebody else with.
I'd say, or even Stone Cold Steve Austin, like he had the Skull Crusher. I mean, it was an okay IPA, not something I'd buy every time, but I would try. It was not Skull Crusher. It was something like that, something with skull on it.
Yeah.
It was beer that he's been selling, stuff like that. So of course if you're like a childhood fan of the wrestling, you're gonna pick that beer. You're like, okay, I'm gonna see what they're doing behind it. Or even being a fan, I'm glad that you brought up bands. I'm a big fan of the band Deftones. I still have not tried it yet, but Deftones collaborated with, I think it was like Belching Beaver Brewing or somebody. They did a beer themselves where they tagged their name on it, and they're part. I don't know how much of the process they're part of, but they are selling it under their name, and they're like, yeah, sure, we want you to sell this beer for us, and I want to try it, but if a band I really like is doing that, I'm going to go and try to find and search for that can of whatever beer it may be. So, I mean, this is just something to talk about because I kind of entwined it with the whole, mall and stuff like that, and the differences and stuff. And of course, with Fabled Brewworks, we all know that they seem kind of like nerdish, I guess. Well, not really nerdy. It might not be a right word for it, but like kind of like the sucker for the sci-fi / fantasy stuff, and so that might be one of the reasons. Of course, they would pick mall for their name.
The name, not even like. The name definitely fits their theme and their idea. Like that's it's not about that either. It's not about that either. It's like if you're picking a beer name, at the least, what you should be doing is checking that other people around you didn't use that name. That's the least. Like that's the very first thing that you should be doing. Like top of the list before you do anything else. That should be how you eliminate that first round off of your piece of paper where you're scribbling down all of your potential names. Yeah, that should be the first thing that eliminates it.
I mean, to be honest, that's what I ran into with when I did the collaboration thing with Third Eye Brewing for my Facebook group, where it was a 513. I wanted that there was something like 513 in there, but I think Kelly already knew that there was like other 513. I think it was like Cincinnati, or I think it was Sam Adams actually. That when they put the 513 something with their beer, and it's like, well, you don't want to have it too close to that. So then, of course, I was thinking about other names, and I came up with something different. But I could see how most breweries would do that, where they go, okay, what other breweries might have that same name, even though sometimes you can look on Untappd, and a lot of these breweries end up having the same name as another beer, but they're totally different styles. I don't know. I don't know if it's like if it's okay if it's a different style, like Julie said, if it's a non-alcoholic blonde versus a stout,
I
is
still
that
don't think it's I
okay?
don't think it's
You
okay.
know? Okay, so either way, you would be like, okay, you should do your homework. Basically, is what you're saying. If you're a brewery and you're coming up with this name, see what they have, especially if it's local. I guess you could
Yeah.
say, and then figure that out. Now, here's my question: is would you? What if it was a brewery? I don't know, say out of state. I don't. Okay, I can't think of anybody. I don't Bottle Logic. Let's
I'm
throw that out there. And
I'm
Bottle
a
Logic came up with something.
I'm a little more forgiving, but
Okay.
for
Okay.
me, I think you should still eliminate it. If you on your first just a little bit of searching on the internet, you see somebody else use that name, move on to something
Mhm.
else. Just come up with something else. And I know that it's not easy, and I know finding names for beers is incredibly difficult. That's why you see a lot of places that are leaning heavily into just, name of the brewery style. I get it
I'm gonna
because
be honest. That's lame.
it's
That's just lame
hard
to me.
it's hard coming up with names. I get it. But
Like if you're if you're like Wandering Monster beer, I'm like, no, come on with something catchy. I'm just throwing that out there.
yeah, I
But
mean,
if
Mount Carmel is like the best local example of it. You have Mount Carmel Amber, Mount Carmel Nut Brown. Like it tells you what the beer is and who makes it.
you know why? It's because those guys are a lot older and it's been around for a lot longer. So I feel like these older guys go. I mean, maybe I might be wrong, but these older guys go, okay, let's just put our brand name and brown ale, our brewery stout, our brewery IPA. I don't know, put that in there, but but it's
Julia
definitely. Go ahead.
Julia is saying to Alex to make a Southridge Imperial Stout called the Mauling of the South. Look, if you
Okay.
that's again you're putting a little bit of a spin on it. I'm okay with that.
But yeah, see, it's not just mall;
Yeah.
it's the Mallow of the South. Like, see, there you go. Just hire Julie to come up with names for you, and then she'll come up with a brand and say, "Hey, you know what? Let's not get so close to this." And then Julie's gonna sit around writing in her little notebook of all these brewery names or brewery beers. Sorry,
She
and
also
then
points out that
not
the
really.
West Side very famously just does style names for the names of their beers too. Another perfect
Oh,
example.
oh,
But I mean, it's
that's
like
actually true.
it's just not worth it for some people to try to try to find some kind of clever name. It's
I get it. It's just like okay. I mean,
Alex points out that
it's a
he's more than
what do you
40
say?
miles. He's outside of the bubble, so by my rules, he can just call them all.
Oh, you know what? He really is.
That's a great point.
He actually is. He's outside that bubble. So go ahead, Alex. You can create your own mall beer, and if you want to call it Mall Two Part Two, I don't know. Just do it. Now here's my questions: what style of beer would it be?
I mean, it's got to be something dark, right? It's got. I guess it
Oh,
could
okay.
be.
I don't know. I don't.
It could be a it could be a red ale too. I guess some kind of red, like an imperial
He,
red would be pretty good.
he I mean, Alex has got a great, unique folder of beers. So maybe like a smoky something beer. I don't know. He's got some crazy ideas. I was out there that one time. He's got some
Malkoff.
really cool ideas.
Yeah, he's
It'd be great.
making fantastic beer up there. It makes me every time I think about Southridge, it just makes me want to write about Dayton more than I'm able to because I think that I think there's some really
Oh,
cool stuff
yeah.
happening up there.
Well, I mean, we live pretty close to each other. You live in Fairfield. I live in Coleraine. I just miss him working at Fibonacci, to be honest, which is
Yeah.
right up the street from me. So, I mean, you got that, and then, but I mean, you move on to bigger and better things, and I get it. And you miss some of those brewers that used to be in certain areas. I mean, at least they're staying open and stuff like that. As long as breweries are staying open, because I'm sick of hearing news about, oh, this one's closing, this might be closing, this one's going in part of this. And it's just sad sometimes, but luckily we've had a couple new ones open up and stuff. And I did see that you did hit up Elmatic. Sorry about that, by the way. I thought you had never had Elmatic beer.
Yeah,
So
I've had
when
their
I
beer.
commented the other day, because I thought you had said you had not made it out there yet. This has been like a year since I've talked to you, but yeah, Mike and those guys out at Elmatic are really cool guys, and I'm sure you've had what was the other one that's out there I really like? It's really close by. I don't have a mug club too. It's very close by. I'd have to look it up. I forget. They have really good pizza too. But it's very close to Elmatic. I don't know how much you ventured out in the Dayton area because I know you don't get out there very often.
Yeah,
But
I've been to a good handful of Dayton breweries. Certainly not all of them, but slowly working my way through them all.
I wish I knew the name off the top of my head, but I wouldn't. I don't know it. I don't have it as they would say. I don't have my notes with me right now, so I just really wish I knew the name of that brewery. It's out there by Elmatic too, but it's not off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up, and I don't want to waste time. So, but
No
anyway,
worries.
I'll let you get back to
Yep.
it.
Thanks
I
for
would
calling
like,
in.
I just wanted to chime in with my thoughts on everything, and I'll let you get back to continuing with the show that's not a show and all this other jazz. And yeah,
All right. Thanks for calling in, bud.
no problem. You take it easy. Have a great night, man.
All right.
Cheers.
Bye. Yeah, I don't know if there's like an easy rule that you can write down. I mean, definitely like I think if it's somebody that's part of your community, you should not be using their name. If it's a beer that has been around longer than the beer you're making and it's distributed into your area, you probably shouldn't use the name. I don't know. I don't know. Just don't be a jerk. don't be a jerk. Let's see. Speaking of people maybe bending or breaking the rules, we can jump into this one. Free beer. I stumbled across, and I won't call these guys out. I don't want to be too negative tonight, but I stumbled across a post from a local establishment, not a brewery, but a local, we'll call it a bar. And they were advertising an event coming up that includes all the beer that you can drink. All you can drink. Which I don't know if you guys are aware, you can't say that in Ohio. You cannot promote an event that has unlimited drinks. That's against the law. And there's a lot of things against the law that I don't agree with. Hence the banning of THC beverages in the state of Ohio. There's things that I disagree with being illegal. However, they are, and I think that if things are illegal, your business should probably abide by them. And I started thinking with this topic about not being able to promote an event that is, all you can drink. I was thinking of what are some of the other things that places might not realize they shouldn't be doing. There's a couple that these are things that I've seen people do, sometimes frequently, that I think they need to be aware of. One of them, in addition to all you can drink, you cannot have an event that has a cover charge and you advertise that cover charge includes beer. You're not allowed to do that. That's not okay in Ohio. Yet people do. Julia says, how does that differ from the bottomless margaritas mimosas offered at some places? It doesn't. It's illegal. You can't do it. You cannot advertise bottomless drinks. All you can drink. It's all very, very against the law in Ohio. Now, other states will have different rules. All you can drink beverages. Yeah. You cannot advertise alcohol. Let's see. Ooh, here's a good one, especially on the wake of all of this THC stuff. Everybody is pointing out, rightfully so, that if you drive to Kentucky, you can still buy hemp-derived THC beverages. I don't think Applebee's does bottomless anything. There's $2 margaritas, but I don't think they do bottomless. You can drive to Kentucky and get your THC beverages. You can buy them there legally. However, the state of Ohio has made it illegal to then bring those back across state lines, and everybody's up in arms about it, and rightfully so. Again, I think it's ridiculous. However, I would like to point out that it is also against the law to drive to the state of Kentucky and go to, let's say, Party Source and bring beer back with you, bring booze back with you. Not like a 6-pack, you can do that, but you can only bring up to 288 ounces of beer back to Ohio or to any state. You can't cross state lines with more than 288 ounces of beer within 30 days. That's like 2 cases of beer. So you can't go down there and get like more than a 12-pack a week and bring it home. It's not very much beer, for the record. And that also includes spirits, which I don't know what the number, the ounce limit on bringing spirits across the state line is, but I'm pretty sure it's less than 288 ounces. So if you're driving over to Kentucky, grabbing a couple bottles of bourbon and bringing it home, and you're doing that more than like once in a month, you're probably breaking the law. Just saying. This is more on the consumer versus the retailer. Zach says, yeah, that's not happened. We're bringing back more than that from Party Source. Most people are. What about a keg? No, you are not allowed to buy a keg of beer in Kentucky and bring it to Ohio unless you have a license to do that. As a consumer, you're not. People do it, obviously, but it's against the law. On a plus side, I think a lot of places don't realize to-go cocktails are still legal after COVID. There was a law put into place during COVID that you could go to your favorite restaurant and get a cocktail to go and take it home. You can still do that. The cocktail has to be sealed. So like what our during, I don't think I've gotten a cocktail to go since COVID, but during COVID we did a lot. And one of our favorites was a little Mexican place, and we would go there and we'd get our tacos and bring them home with some margaritas. And then we'd sit outside and we'd eat tacos and drink margaritas all night. And the way they would seal them was they would just fold the straw over and just tape it. It was now a sealed drink, and that counted. So your cocktail has to be sealed, but then you can get it to go, and you can just take it home. You can't drink in public unless you're in Dora, and then you have to have a special cup. But you can take it home with you. Don't open it up before you get home, though. You'll get in trouble. It's against the law. There's a lot of very dumb laws that are out there, and I don't know that all of these are dumb laws. Like I understand the spirit of some of these laws, but there's a lot of things that that people are doing that they just don't realize they're not supposed to be doing. So the more you know. If you're a local liquor permit holder, don't advertise bottomless drinks or all you can drink beer or whatever you think you want to do. Just don't do it. It's against the law. You'll get yourself in trouble. And the worst part about all of this is that people watch social media, and when you post about something on social media, it's going to live forever. Somebody's going to screenshot it. Somebody's going to email it to somebody, and you're going to get yourself in trouble. And it's not worth it. If you want to sell, look, I'll even go this far. If you want to sell bottomless beer or mimosas or whatever, do it. I don't care. I think it's great. I think it's fun. I would love to go in and have just a whole bunch of bottomless mimosas this weekend. That sounds like a great time to me. But don't advertise it. You just don't advertise. Don't put it out there because you'll get yourself in trouble. I'm pretty sure that's a law probably in Kentucky too. The bottomless drinks. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't actually know anything about Kentucky law. Everything is all you can drink if you have enough money. Not necessarily. all they'll let you drink. You will get cut off at some point at most reputable most reputable places. I didn't even finish my beer, and I have a canned cocktail to drink. Let's jump in and taste that before we wrap things up. We could talk about the return of Bennigan's too, but we'll save that for another time. That's part of the kind of a bigger topic. I don't know how cold this is now. It's been sitting for a while. This is Canvas. Canvas has been around for a while. It's a local-ish brand. This one uses bourbon from Boone County. Does Boone County own the brand? I don't know. It is produced at Impact, I believe. Here, we'll take a look at the can here. They use all kinds of fun kind of artwork on their cans, like actual artwork, which I think is cool. This is the Bourbon Mule. It's made with bourbon whiskey, real juice, and natural flavors. What kind of juice? Don't know, it doesn't say. What kind of flavors? Don't know, it doesn't say. It's 8%. I'm going to assume that this has some lime, maybe some ginger. But that's an assumption because it doesn't actually tell me. Artist on this one is Sean Clunan. Shout out to Sean Clunan. It's also a wrapped can, which makes me want to unwrap it. I don't know why I always want to unwrap things that are wrapped. Okay, let's drink this and see what we got here. I feel like you should drink the canned cocktails out of cans. I don't know. Is it mule flavored? Maybe. It doesn't smell like mules. It smells like lime. I'm not getting a lot of ginger. Does a Moscow Mule. What else is Moscow Mule? Is there anything else in there? All right, let's drink this. Let's see what it tastes like. Okay. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. It's refreshing. It's light. Like it's not super boozy, which I guess is probably a mule is supposed to be a little more like kind of light and refreshing. Most of the time when I get a canned cocktail, I just find myself wanting it to be stronger, and I don't know why. Ryan says, "Isn't ginger beer in a Moscow Mule?" Yeah, ginger, lime, typically vodka, but this is a bourbon mule, so no, vodka would be bourbon. Yeah, it's like a kind of light ginger, a little bit heavier on the lime, and then just a little touch of bourbon. I want more bourbon. I think that's the moral of the story here. But it's 8%, so it probably doesn't need it, especially since you're already drinking 12 ounces of it. It's fine. You pour this over ice and put me out in the sun. And I'm happy, but I'm not craving it. I'm never gonna write home about it. It's fine. It's refreshing. It's good. It's exactly what it's supposed to be. Yeah. I went to a Houston bar and got a Little King. Asked him to pour it in a glass because I got nervous. Then the owner made fun of me. Yeah. Don't pour your Little Kings in a glass. Don't do it. Do you actually have Little Kings in Houston? Because if they're in Houston, that's fantastic. Or is it just a beer named Little Kings and it's not Little Kings? Because that would be a perfect topper on the end of the show. Ryan says, I bet you have more bourbon nearby, just saying. It's in the other room. I don't think I have any bourbon in here. Not that I can see. And we're already it's already 11 o'clock. Oh, that's fun that you can get Little Kings in Houston. Eric says, I got grief for only getting one Little King. You sure you don't want two? That's how it should be. All right. Let's wrap things up. I'm going to drink a bourbon mule and then drink the rest of my Pixel and then go to bed. Julia says, would Bekarovka make it better or Merlot? No, neither one of those would make this better. I feel confident in saying that. A little bit more bourbon, I think, would improve it, but I don't think Bekarovka maybe, but no. We're going to save our Bekarovka for next week where we're going to make a cocktail. That's what we're going to do. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Just a reminder, if you like this show, if you like any of the things that I do, you can support it by going to thenarlygnome.com/support. You can go to cincydrinks.com and subscribe to the magazine. That helps. Anything that you do that is anything to do with my content, it all helps. Just keep sharing things, keep watching videos, keep listening to podcasts, keep clicking on Instagram and Facebook posts and sharing them with people. Just that's all that helps. This is going to be a big year. Lots of really fun stuff coming this year, and I think you guys are going to like it. I think the magazine's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really excited about the magazine, and it's got me thinking kind of about, well, it's too big of a topic to dive into this late in the show, but kind of the structure of all of this stuff and how it fits together. And I need feedback on some of the thoughts that I'm having about it. So maybe we'll talk about that next week too. Yeah, I appreciate you guys more than you know, and thank you for being a part of this thing week after week. We're gonna keep all of this growing and kind of evolving, and yeah, we'll keep drinking together. That's what we do, right? Thank you guys. Please share the show with a friend. That's how all this stuff keeps growing, and it's important. And I know that there's some weeks where we want podcasts. There's some weeks we want YouTube videos. There's some weeks we want new articles. We want this, we want that, and I get it. I understand that there are things that people really, really enjoy engaging with and consuming content-wise, and I promise I'm working on all of it. It's just we can't have it all every single week. Just it's not possible right now. There's too many irons in the fire, as they like to say. So know that I hear you, know that I'm working on it, and I do appreciate all of you. So thank you very much. We'll do it again next week. We'll be back, and we'll be drinking cocktails and probably beer too. I can't just drink cocktails. I need a beer at the end of what is becoming very long Mondays. Cheers, everybody. We will see you later. Still don't fully understand the situation that requires a canned cocktail like a bourbon mule. I don't need these around the house. I don't really have like a boat. If I had a boat, yeah, that could be a canned cocktail on my boat drinker. Honey, we need a boat. Yeah, a boat. Like a yacht. Pirate ship.